Hey, football is back, if you count spring practice.
We do, and guess what?
What's that?
The offensive line has much needed help coming away.
The ASU baseball team sure could use some help. On the mound, the Arizona Wildcats didn't seem to mind this week.
Well, maybe they should be hitting up our girl Dallas Escobedo, as she was dominant again last night for the softball team.
Of course she was. Dallas, we know what to expect from her. We don't quite know what to expect from the ASU men's basketball team.
Yeah, we have absolutely no idea what's going inside of Wells Fargo Arena, but we'll try our darndest to find out.
We've got everything we just said and more coming up. This is Cronkite Sports Live.
Let's go!
How you doing, Sun Devil fans? This is Cronkite Sports Live. I'm Brett Deckert, and that is ASU quarterback Taylor Kelly.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm Jake Gaden.
That's what I said, Taylor.
Jake Gaden.
Arizona State, Arizona Wildcats. Pac-12 baseball, Wednesday night at Packard Stadium. We have the highlights. Here they are. 3,193 at Packard on Wednesday, the 40th and final season at the stadium. Last stop for the Wildcats here. We jump to top three. Seth Martinez started for ASU, battling with 2 on. Bobby Dahlbeck launches a double to left, I think. 2 Wildcats score. Another comes across in the inning. That would spell the end for Martinez. He did not have a good day. Sun Devils would answer right back. Bang, Drew Stankiewicz over the fence. I think that's a home run. 2-run blast. Way to go, Stank. Andy Lopez decided to come out and make a mound visit here. He did that 87 times on this day. Whatever he wanted to say, it didn't work. Colby Woodmansey, back-to-back. They go yard. An 11-pitch at-bat for him, his first of the year. We're going to go to bottom 5 here. This is a little interesting. And handsome cameraman, notice him. Doink. He got hit by the ball. Yeah, see, that landed squarely on my hip. Yes, my hip. I only cried on the inside. Back to more important things. Same inning, ASU down 6-5. Dalton DiNatale sends it the opposite way. 2-run score. They take the lead. Not for long. Nick Diamond working now. Bases juiced. Not anymore. Ball gets away from Ibarra. Here comes one. And woo, there goes Nick Diamond. That allows another run to score. The Wildcats, they jump back on top. Ibarra's dazed and confused. Back and forth we go. Guess who? RJ Ibarra. Bases loaded single, knocks in 2. The pendulum swings back towards the Sun Devils. 8-7 they lead, and the score stayed that way. We go to the 8th. 2 on, 2 out. Closer, Ryan Burr. He's been struggling. He did again. He walks Dahlbeck. Uh-oh. Willie Calhoun knocks a dribbler to Colby Woodmansey, and oh boy, he can't play it. The go-ahead run scores. RJ Ibarra steps up in the 9th, just misses the leadoff game-tying homer by inches. He's at 3rd with nobody out. Well, guess what? They would strand him. Strikeout, pop out, fly out to end the ball game. Bobby Dahlbeck actually getting the save. He's versatile. The Sun Devils fall 10-9. Remember, it was Woodmansey making that play in the 9th inning, in the 8th inning that gave up the leading run. We're going to send it to him for his reaction post-game.
Feels pretty bad. The locker room is just quiet. No one really, everybody's pretty pissed off. No one wants to lose to U of A at Packard.
Alongside Jake Garcia here. Jake, beat reporter for the Sun Devil baseball team. We're going to play a little game. I guess you could call it that. An overreaction or not. I'm just going to throw out a statement. I want to know your opinion. Is it an overreaction or not? This Sun Devil softball squad, do they need some
baseball
help?
Squad.
It's wrong sport. We'll get to softball later, though. Yeah, on the mound in baseball, the starting pitching especially, they started the season pretty well. Lately, not so much. Would you say that the starting pitching is their Achilles heel?
Yeah, so far, right now, it has been their Achilles heel. That's definitely not an overreaction. It's gone a little bit unnoticed and pushed under the rug because they've been winning, but now losing 2 games in a row, there's room for critique. As you can see here, Ryan Kellogg, since his March 22nd complete game against Oregon State, 18 hits, 8.02 ERA, and only 10 innings pitched. Brett Lillick hasn't been much better. Last win came nearly a month ago, and in his past 3 starts, hasn't made it out of the 5th inning. And then Ryan Burr at the back end of the bullpen has been downright atrocious. 2 blown saves in his last 3 appearances, 5 walks. Hitters are just not swinging at his pitches right now. He's overthrowing his fastball, missing up in the zone. All it takes is for hitters to lay off.
Right, we'll see if they get that straightened out. Back to the offense. Now, Nate Causey started this season, obviously one of the better bats in the lineup, but he's leading the team now, 385 average. He's up there in the Pac-12 in that regard. Would you say he's the best hitter on this team?
I'm going to go a little middle ground right here and add another name to the list. That's RJ Ibarra. Everyone at the start of the season considered Trevor Allen the most important bat for the Sun Devils, but Kazi and Ybarra have certainly stripped him of that title. These guys have been on an absolute tear as of late over the past 4 games. And by the way, I think it's trivial if we say that one is better than the other.
Right.
But over the past 4 games, RJ Ybarra, nothing but clutch hits. He's 7 for 12, 11 RBIs, including a 5-run RBI performance against USC. Nate Kazi, 7 for 11. Like you said, team lead and average. That's nearly the top of the Pac-12. So I say they go hand in hand, the 2 best hitters in the middle of ASU's lineup.
Well, and you're bringing up Ybarra. Geez, especially on Wednesday night, a couple inches away from that game-tying home run, he's always there in the clutch. Okay, so overall, we've mentioned the pitching, we've mentioned the hitting. The Sun Devil team, are they near the Pac-12? We're going to bring up a graphic here, and it's going to show basically 2 polar opposites. The offense, near the top and everything. The pitching, not so much. They're towards the cellar.
Exactly. So right now, ASU is in 5th place in the Pac-12, but only 3 games behind Washington. If they're going to want any shot at a Pac-12 title, they're going to have to take advantage of their next 3 series against Stanford, Cal, and Arizona. 3 teams that are below 500 on the season, and then the top 2 teams have slightly tougher schedules in Oregon State and in Washington. But at the end of the day, I say it's too little, too late for ASU. Oregon State and Washington are elite. They have these great pitching staffs. Oregon's 3 starters all below a 2 ERA. So ASU, I think they're just a tier below those 2 teams.
All right, there's a heck of a long way to go left in the season, but I think that's fair to say from what we've seen. We're going to send it back to the desk for Jake Gaden. He's got some more on lacrosse.
Perfection. The ASU Lacrosse team is 2 games away from that. Their quest for perfection hasn't been easy, but they've shown utter dominance in the MCLA rankings, being ranked #1 for the past 4 weeks. Will they complete the pursuit of perfection? Well, we have 2 perfect analysts in-house to tell you what you need to know about this ASU Lax team this weekend against their upcoming matchup against San Diego State. Trey and Cam, you guys just take it away.
Thank you, gentlemen. Trey, we're talking about Arizona State lacrosse today. They still are undefeated. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in the game of lacrosse, you have to score goals in order to win.
It's really a top secret thing, but yes, you must score goals to win in lacrosse. Not many people know about it, though. Very low key.
Very good. Okay, so since you helped me with that, we're going to play a little game today, if that's all right with you.
That's fine by me.
We're going to call it, What Can You Tell Me? And we're going to start off by saying, what can you tell me about the Arizona State offense this year? You've told me a little bit that it's been a little bit patient, but what else can you tell me about that?
Well, that patience is really what it's been. They work the ball around. They're very slow in terms of developing, but then when they find the open opportunity, they take advantage of it. It's all been orchestrated by Chris Malone, doing an excellent job of really coordinating how this offense works out. And you can see Dan Davis is the guy who's probably benefiting the most from it, as clearly this slowing things up has opened up opportunities for players around the horn.
Yeah, exactly. At the top of it, the box, you see Cooper Piquel, Kyle Denise spitting hot fire from their sticks into the cage, and then you see also, Dan Davis and Justin Straker as well on the other level.
Well, and a lot of what that is that they're able to get opportunities because the defense has to expand outward. They have to run an umbrella format in order to focus on each individual player, and that gives wide open shot opportunities once you get past your perimeter defender. So guys are doing an excellent job of drawing the defense outward.
Okay, Trey. So we're going to talk a little bit about the 66 goals that has been absent this year.
Yep.
You'd think that would be a little bit of a task to make up for, but they've actually exceeded that. What can you tell me about that, Trey?
Well, not having Payson Clark hasn't really damaged this ASU team too much. As you can see, last year the top 3 goal scorers represented nearly 60% of the output on the field, whereas now it's down to 50. However, it's not impacting the offensive output much because their goals per game are on the rise. So clearly, Coach Malone has addressed this as well as he possibly could have. But I tell you what, the player I'm focused on right now is Adam Beecham, nearly a full goal more per game than he had last year. And it's really an excellent job that he's done. I think he's league ready, Cam.
You know I love league-ready players, and I also love lax players with flow.
He does have some nice flow.
One of the few players with flow. That might be why the lacrosse gods are smiling down upon him for complying with their wishes.
Absolutely.
Well, next up we got Kendi Collier going. Thank you very much, Trey. Kendi, what do you got for us?
Hey, did you know that Tinder is not a place to find people who want to go camping? It is not. Exact opposite. Learned that the hard way. That's how much I know about social media, and yet they still put me on the job. So here are tweets of the week. Let's look at the first one right here. Carry the Platypus. Hashtag Carry the Platypus. You know, that's a show I would watch. Have you?
Never once seen an episode.
It's a fantastic show. It's
I am
a
so
show you
glad
could
I
sit
never
in your
have.
underwear, have some ice cream, you watch Phineas and Ferb. But I would watch it even more if Carry the Platypus was a thing, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. You got to look at it this way, though. Like,
Would anybody watch it if
It's a
Carry
s-
the Platypus was a thing?
it's a secret agent. I
would.
can't get wrong with that.
Everyone-
That's
everyone in the studio
hysterical.
would.
It's
Yeah.
terrifying.
It's hysterical.
Carrie's probably the few people who look good in a fedora, probably.
Absolutely. Oh,
All right, let's look at tweet number 2. All right, from
There he is.
Platypus
Oh,
the
no
champion,
way.
Carrie Crowley,
No
bragging about
way.
winning the bracket. I want my money back, that's for sure. I was robbed in that tournament. That was just
Can I say
terrible.
one thing? Carrie Crowley called me out for being a UConn fan, for being from Connecticut. Carrie, you do not deserve to be in that photo.
Jake
shot-
thinks he's cool because he's from Connecticut.
Yes,
we
I
get
am.
it. dude.
I am very cool.
Well, shots are fired and doesn't stop there. Our very own Zach Pot Club learns that we have a little thing called pot clubs, which are like strikes, and in baseball, if you get 3, you're out. If you get 3 pot clubs, I don't want to know what happens then. Zach is very disturbed that this happens. Katie Burge fires a shot saying, is it because he always strikes out with women? Ooh. Oh, it's
Zing.
hot. She's hot. She's hot. She's on fire. Look at that face Katie's making. It's a pretty good face, you know. What do you guys think about it?
It's a face that Zach Packleb will never, ever see.
Yeah, and
Just-
fun
he-
fact
he-
that she
he gets
won
shot
Miss
down.
Taylor place,
Did she
and yet she
really?
can fire shots like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
Look
loving.
at her.
You know,
She's doing her thing.
Katie
She's
Birch.
an
She's been on the
all-American
show.
girl
Katie
right
Birch
there.
is a Cronkite Sports Live member.
Yeah,
She really is.
absolutely. She's doing great things for the show, I gotta say.
And I appreciate she's doing great comedic work for the show.
Absolutely.
exactly.
Those pictures are fantastic.
Thank you, Kennedy.
The more we can make fun of Pot Club, the better.
Oh,
obviously.
absolutely.
As long as it's not me.
That's our theme. Thanks, Kennedy.
Well,
Okay, I think I've waited long enough in the show.
Okay.
I want to get something off my chest.
do it.
Good golly, Miss Molly, what in Little Richard's name is going on with the ASU men's basketball team?
I don't know who Molly Golly or Little Richard are, but I can definitely say something's going on in Wells Fargo Arena.
Okay, it's a justified question. I just got over a brief bout with head scratching disorder. It's weirdly terrifying. That's how confused I was.
Well, let's go over it, right?
Okay.
Igor Kolichov, gone. Brandon Kearney, gone, both the way of the transfer.
I'm following.
Bo Barnes, gone, but not gone, still on scholarship. He's in limbo.
I'm confused.
And then to get matters worse, assistant coach and right-hand man to Herb Sendek, Eric Musselman, left. And he doesn't even have a job lined up for himself.
Oh, no, it's coming back.
And then topping it all off, ASU recruit, or former recruit, Octavius Ellis, yeah, he was supposed to come to the Sun Devils, opened up his recruiting again this week. Bad news for the Sun Devils.
I'm so confused.
Everyone is in Sun Devil Nation. Everyone is.
I think I need to sit a couple plays out.
All right, Brett, you go take us a couple plays out, and I'll take an OTS over here. 999 down, 999 down, 1 to go. Yeah, that's right. 1 win stands between head coach Craig Nicholson and the 1,000-win club. Going into Thursday night's softball matchup against the Utah Utes, the Sun Devils did everything they could to help Nicholson reach this monumental milestone and change his record from 999 to 1000. The man of the hour, Craig Nicholson right there. The softball team outfielders doing their pregame ritual. Dallas Escobedo in the circle, or Dal Pal as the Twitter world calls her. First batter of the game is a hit by pitch. That's not usual for Dallas. It's okay. Next batter, she strikes out. That ends the first. Now bottom one, Amber Freeman. She's going to hit a double down the right field line to score Alex Johnson from first. Freeman 1 for 3 in the game, started off the bats for the Sun Devils. Now, one batter later, Elizabeth Caparucio, she's going to single to score Freeman. She finished 2 for 3 on the night. Then after a Bethany Kemp double, moving Cap to third, Chelsea Gonzalez singles to right to score both Kemp and Cap 4-0 ASU after 1. Now we're in a top 5-0 ASU. Escobedo doing her thing on the mound. 1, 2, 3. What's new for our girl Dowpal striking out the side. Then top 7, 2 outs. And one last chance for the Roots, and she gets it off of Dallas. Marissa Mendenhall hits a homer to center, but Escobedo, the next batter, strikes her out. 5-1 the final for ASU. Craig Nicholson getting a pie in the face from Sparky, but was also very honored to get his 1,000th win.
A lot of great players over the years, and when you have a lot of great players, you win a lot of ball games. So kind of the way it is. Well, I mean, we're with this group of kids, obviously a group that I've only been around for 7 months, 8 months. We're moving in the right direction. We're moving toward that point.
Like I said, 5-1 for the Sun Devils. They have a second game tonight here at Farrington Stadium, 7 o'clock. Big game for Dallas Escobedo, 7 innings, 5 Ks. You really can't do much better than that. And Elizabeth Caparucio, 2 for 3 with an RBI. She's been having a hot bat lately. Talking about Caparucio, we have Dominic Catronio and Zach Pokleb in-house to break down everything she's been doing and the Sun Devil team this weekend. Guys, let's send it to you.
Thank you, Jake. Well, we talked a lot about Elizabeth Caparucio there, but another one that you want to talk about is Bailey Wiggness. Why are these two players so key to the Sun Devils' success?
Well, these outfielders are really the role players that are key for ASU because they're the ones that are glue between the lineup. For Caparucio, she comes after Amber Freeman and Alex Johnson in the lineup. Those girls are going to get on base. She's the one that has to knock them in. She has been doing that. She's second on the team in batting average. Bailey Wiggness brings that speed threat to the base paths. When she gets on base, she is second on the team in steals. She's a slap hitter, really puts pressure on the opposing team's defense.
Well, we can talk about the stars all day long with Amber Freeman, Dallas Escobedo, Cheyenne Coyle, and Alex Johnson could even be thrown into there. What is it about these role players that when they play well at the plate, how do the Sun Devils do? What is it about them that we need to know?
Well, if you look at their offense in wins and losses, it's very obvious that Caparucio and Wiggness are critical. In wins, their batting average obviously is very good. In losses, 211 for Caparucio, 143 for Wiggness. And if you look at the runs scored by ASU in their losses, they're only averaging 2 runs per game as opposed to their wins in which they're averaging 10 runs per game. They really, if Caparucio can't bring home Amber Freeman, because you know she's going to get her hits, you know Alex Johnson's going to get her hits, they can't get home if Caparucio doesn't bat them in. And Bailey Wiggness really can get into scoring position for Alex Johnson at the top of the order by stealing that second base. So if they don't perform, if they can't get on base, if they can't bring in the runs, ASU's offense becomes stagnant.
You get hits, you get runs, and generally you score more runs, you beat the other team.
I think that's how it works in most sports.
I mean, Lax told us that you score more goals, and the only one that doesn't apply is Masters weekend, of course. You want the lowest in that. But back to softball. They go for the series win tonight against the Utah Utes. First pitch is at 5 o'clock on the Pac-12 networks. But for Zach Pokleb, I'm Dominic Catronio. Now we'll send it over to Brett in the studio with some football news.
Cody Kubensky and Evan Finkenberg are no longer Sun Devils. Bad news for an offensive line, which was too often the Achilles heel for Todd Graham's signature high-octane offense. I still don't know what that means. What I do know is that the ASU's offensive line was often outsized and overpowered because, well, it faced a lot of bigger, stronger defensive lines, and that held back the running game. Basically, the line is their main and possibly only weakness on offense, but spring practice has shown there might be help along the way. Kerry Crowley's all the help we need, and I'll let him tell us more.
One of the mottos of the Sun Devil football team this spring has been unfinished business, and that's due to the 4 losses that Arizona State suffered in the 2013 season. In those 4 losses, a common theme came back to haunt the Sun Devils, and that was their inability to rush the football. With left tackle Evan Finkenberg moving on and center Cody Kubensky graduating as well, Arizona State has 2 holes to fill up front if they want to improve. Now, Arizona State has looked at a few different combinations this spring to fill those holes along the offensive line, and they've found success. And here's what they've done. Last year's starting left guard, Jameel Douglas, well, he's kicked out to left tackle to replace Finkenberg. And in his spot at left guard is Christian Westerman. Westerman's a transfer who sat out last year from ineligibility, and he's back this spring with a lot to prove. Westerman gives the Sun Devils power up front, and combined with Douglas on the left side of the line, that's really one of the Sun Devils' strengths. They've replaced Kubensky at center with the more athletic Nick Kelly, who gives the Sun Devils options in the running game with his ability to pull. On the right side of the line, V. Teofilo and Tyler Silka return as starters, so Arizona State hopes to retain that production that they found from those 2 guys last season. Arizona State's looking to improve along the offensive line, and so far, Todd Graham and Mike Norvell are pleased with what they've seen this spring. For Cronkite Sports Live, I'm Kerry Crowley.
Who doesn't love football, Brett?
I love it.
Well, best thing of the show, at least for me, is our debate segment, and we have none other than Kennedy Collier in-house again. He just did Tweets of the Week.
Hate that guy.
He's terrible, but he has to monitor this debate topic because we duke it out here in the studio.
Yeah, we'll duke it out. Does blood get extra points, Kennedy?
Oh, it always does. It's my favorite part. I mean, we're not discussing anything really, stupid like, the Ukraine situation.
No.
We're talking about serious stuff like sports. So let's go on to the first debate question.
Go for it.
All right, there's a lot of people leaving the ASU men's basketball team. Who do you think is next?
Well, I don't know who is next. I know who should be next. Head coach Herb Sendek. Where is this program going with Herb? Seriously, where? He's been here for too long. 2 NCAA tournament appearances. Who besides Jaheed Carson and James Harden have we brought in, or have the Sun Devils brought in that really count? They're not
All right,
going
Brad, I
anywhere.
got to cut you off right there. Time is up.
0.
Jake, it's
My
you.
turn. Let's go. Herb Sendick can't recruit. Lost Octavius Ellis. Only has one good recruit coming in. Trial holder from California to replace you. He can't recruit. And he lost his right-hand man, Eric Musselman. That's a huge loss for the Sun Devils. He was basically the guy behind the scenes pulling the strings for the Sun Devils. 2-1. I still won.
Fair. No,
I'm going to give the points to Jake because he talked really fast. I couldn't really follow what he was saying, so I think he was right.
Okay.
All right, so for the second question, ASU Lacrosse is looking for a perfect season. Do you think they'll get it, guys?
Of course. I mean, okay, they do have a test against Grand Canyon University. They're a tough team, but they're not going to lose to San Diego State on this Saturday. They're too stinking good. #1 team in the country. Come playoffs, it's a totally different story. Anything can happen. You're playing the best teams in the country, but they're rolling too much right now.
You also, that was 1-0-1. You also forgot to mention they're playing both of their home game, next 2 games, home at West Campus. San Diego State should be a mull over. Grand Canyon, look to it be a competitive game, but it should have a win. But like you said, playoff time, all bets are off.
What kind of debate is this? We're just agreeing.
You both said the same thing. By law, I have to give points to someone, so Brett, why not? You know,
What?
you get the point. Yeah,
What? I said the same exact thing that he did.
Right, but he said it first.
I said it better.
So he's,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he said it first. First is the best. All right, so let's go to the last and final debate. Now, who has the best hair? Usually it's, I have pretty good hair when Jason helps me. I like to give a shout out to him. Today it's not on point.
No.
But out of all of the CSL members, who has the best hair?
Well,
Go first.
I got it first. I got to give it to my man, the guy who I've met ever since I came to Cronkite. My man, Nick Wixman, has a beautiful, luscious hair. Goes from his face all the way down to his toes. Beautiful, luscious piece of hair. He's a specimen.
That's disgusting.
He's a great guy.
Are you serious?
He's also a great guy.
And that's not even true. Zoom in. I want a shot of my hair. Can we do that? We can't do it.
You can't pick yourself.
Look at it. If you could see, if you zoomed in and saw what this luscious
hair.
It's a being. It's a living being that I nurture. And it lives.
I better win that one. I better win it.
Neither one of you wins because you hurt my feelings by not mentioning me. I know it's not on point
Kennedy,
this
look on
week.
your screen. Do you see yourself?
Oh, wow.
That's why.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
Okay. Point goes to both of you. You both win. It's a tie.
thank you.
Communism.
All right,
Good.
join us up here, Kennedy.
All right.
Come up and join us.
It's not for the children this week, though.
No, it's not for
There
the
he
children. Children don't win. They get too much. The children.
They
get too much.
They do win too much.
They win, and we lose really. So.
You know who does win though? Coaches and players of the week. We give out some major hardware for them every
big
single
deal.
week. He's got a player. I've got a coach. I think I'm going to go first though, because I like doing that, going first. Coach of the week. We've already said his name this week. It is head coach of the softball team, ASU softball team, Craig Nicholson. Nicholson is now in the 1,000-win club. Great accolades. Look at all that stuff he's been doing. Oh, come on. The Sun Devil Nation, you guys have a great coach for the future, and hopefully he can get a couple more than just 1,000 wins here in Territorial Cup Series wins.
Someone who's contributed to 36 of those 1,000 wins. Dominating pitcher. What's her name? Dallas Escobedo. Great job there, Jake.
Yeah.
She's our player of the week because she's simply the best. Named Pac-12 Pitcher of the Week. That's the 3rd time this season, her 8th of her entire illustrious Sun Devil career. She was also selected #1 overall in the National Pro Fast Pitch Draft a couple weeks ago. Dallas Escobedo is downright dominant. You know what else was dominant this week?
What?
3 certain plays. And what we do is we pick them out, we edit them together, and we put them into this little thing we like to call Top Plays. This is the first one. It's number 3. If you can read, you would know that. Amber Freeman, double down the right field line. That'll score Alex Johnson. That makes it 1-0. It was all they would need. Really, well, they would score more. They would win 5-1 in the game. ASU softball winners.
Number 2, huge 2-run blast for second baseman Drew Stankiewicz onto Rural Road. Unfortunately, no stanky leg from Stankiewicz. More to come from this game in the next top play.
Yeah, we're going back-to-back here, number 1 and number 2. They're going back-to-back as well. You saw it earlier. Colby Woodmansey goes yard. His first of the season on an 11th pitch at bat. Sadly, the Sun Devils would fall 10-9.
Brett, guess what? We made it through a show.
We did it.
We finally did.
We
Thank
did it.
you, everyone,
We did it.
for coming and listening and watching this week's Cronkite Sports Live.
We enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed it just as much. This has been a wonderful show. Thanks for joining us. For Jake Gaden, I'm Brett Deckert. Have a good one.
See you, Sun Devil Nation.